What's up, fellow lords of gaming? Welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. So today we're going to jump right into this. I want to give you guys my first impressions for the characters for the Destiny X update that just got released. I know it's a little bit delayed, but you know, real life concerns come in the way. So let's jump right in here with all the uniforms. First off, the one that everybody's the most interested in, or going to be the most interested in, is obviously Dark Phoenix. This is a scary and eerily, like, they went ham on this one. Like, to be honest with you, you know, the only other character that I've seen like this level of detail would have been Scarlet Witch. I think they gave her just that really good textured look in there. Overall, I love the little graphic for her. And now looking at the uniform, even more impressed, to be honest with you. I think they could have did a little bit more given some of the previous uniforms that we've seen for characters like Sabretooth. I still look at Sabretooth. I always go back to Sabretooth as like the barometer for us and just like look at that character and I'm like, God damn, they did such a great job on the textures and the design on that character. But the Dark Phoenix uniform is looking great. Jean Grey looks absolutely amazing inside this uniform. Can't complain about this uniform at all. Now, I did level up the uniform to Mythic so that way I can show off some of the uniform options inside here. Because I know, like I said, this is going to be the one most people are concerned about. That's just the truth of it. Looking at Jean Grey's uniform options, I was like, what the hell, to be honest with you, right? Like, but let's take a look at them. Let's see how. So we got Blade, right? And I was really trying to figure out why Blade is listed as a uniform option for her. I couldn't figure that one out. To be perfectly honest with you, I could not figure that one out. But he's there as a uniform option. Maya Lopez, her Hawkeye uniform is listed, right? So here goes the interesting one about the Maya Lopez one, right? Is that when you go in here, you'll notice I purchased the uniform, right? And it's her newest uniform, so it's a good uniform. But in order to upgrade this uniform, you need these bios. And the only way you're getting those bios is from the biometrics daily. So this is an expensive, starts to get a little bit expensive for the Jean Grey uniform already because you're going to have to pay in order to level up Maya Lopez's uniform. And here goes the thing too about it, right? Is that inside the uniform option, she sits here within the wheel that you want this HP. And the reason why I say that you're going to want to have the Maya Lopez uniform is because if you come over to Jean's skills, right, and you were to look at some of her abilities inside here, her damage and things like that are based off of her HP. So you want to have the HP as high as you can get it. I'm trying to find where it was inside here. I'm like, so like for instance right here, right, we're accumulating pure damage up to 65% of the max HP value, right? So I want to have a max HP value as high as I could go. So obviously that would wager why I would want to have these HP limits as high as possible, right? I need to have that, right? I need to. So Professor X is another uniform option, right? So if we go inside his uniform upgrade as well, you'll notice that we do need Professor X BIOS as well. Now, the only way you can acquire them is as contribution rewards in the Dimension missions, right? So basically you have to come inside here, you're going to have to complete these and hopefully you get the contribution rewards and you roll those, right? But if you notice, Professor X isn't inside here. Like, can't get my man from in there, right? So essentially what you end up looking at is another character where you need another uniform upgrade ticket for if you're going to really want to max that out immediately, right? So you've basically got about $80 in uniform options alone for two stats that you're probably going to want to beef out. You can get around, like Gilgamesh is her fourth option. You can get around Gilgamesh and you can get around Blade because I was like 40% over cap for the dodge, but you're going to need to get there for this, for these, right? Then we got Scarlet Witch. It's the WandaVision uniform, so you're good to go on there. Thankfully, they left most of those options. Well, was it the WandaVision? Yeah, okay, it's the WandaVision one inside here. Yeah, so you can't really complain about the uniform options too much, but you do got about $80 in uniform options if you're looking at going. And this is the reason why I said a lot of people are going to be really amped up about Phoenix, right? And what she's doing, but not a lot of you are going to be able to get there to her. And unfortunately, I'm going to be 100% blunt and honest with you. even if some of you got her to T4, I hate to say this, but I've played with a lot of people inside Giant Boss Raid. I don't even care if you get a T4. Some of you guys aren't even good enough to, like, not good enough to actually play and operate the character effectively. So like rushing to get this character or complaining about you can't have the character T4 just doesn't make quite sense. So you can see, like, with my cards and things like that, I've like well over exceeded stats. Like I said, even on my dodge, I'm about 30% over my dodge in there, and I've got most of everything maxed out except my cooldown duration, right? So, and custom gear, I'm just rocking a CTP of regeneration because previously Gene was a badass for just simply for PvP, but now you can actually use Gene inside PvE as well. So that's kind of good. Right now, I'll have to check about whether CTP of Rage, CTP of Regeneration, or, you know, CTP of Judgment. But here goes the interesting part. This is, you introduce a new character that shows off the reason why we need to have a secondary custom slot inside here in the first place, right? We need to be able to have 2 CTPs that I can equip and switch between those, so that way I can designate this is going to be used for PvE content and this is going to be used for PvP type content. We need that. We need that, guys. Give it to us. We need it, all right? So I'm really excited about that. The question is going to be whether or not I change out some of these Urus to kind of match what she needs. Like, so like get in some more of this HP. Yeah, I might do it because, like I said, I'm well, like, you can look at my stats overall and I'm well over cap based on my cards and stuff like that. Like crit rate, not so much, but crit damage and dodge, I can afford to lose some of those stats in there overall. All right. So, like I said, there we go. That's Jean Grey. Looking at her. Yeah, max that character out as soon as you can. I can't believe I haven't maxed this out. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. What was I thinking? Jean, baby. How do I not have type enhancement tickets for you, Gene? I thought for sure I would have had type enhancement tickets. Oh, she's a natural tier 2, so I can't use it. Oh, look at that on the stream, baby. We got that universal type enhancement level 6. So that's interesting, right? So she still is listed as a universal character, but I do believe that since she's originally a blast character, you use blast books in order to advance her. So now let's jump into these, look at these skills overall. She's got a lot of updates here on her skills, which is really nice. Can't complain a lot. You know, it's always nice to see characters get that love. Yeah, so let's take a look at these real quick, all right? Where are we at? Where are we at? Let's look at it. So let's jump into these details on the skills. So Jean Grey had a number of skill changes, right? So let's take a look at them. Like Psionic Sphere basically is still, it's weird because it says like skill change, but oh, I'm so stupid. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Doesn't really make a difference to look at that. 2 of the skills that I'm most interested in is that how much what they gave Jean Grey overall, right? Is so if you were to look at her second ability, right? So Phoenix Drive, right? This ability now is granting you 100% chance to grant immunity to all, but it's also giving paralysis, incapacitation. And the real surprising thing is that also now has time freezing inside there along with the ignore targeting effect. Just the 2 skill alone is going to be a skill that you're going to have to put into your rotation simply because of these 2 things. So incapacitation is already going to be something enough to stun your character, but the time freezing along with the paralysis and the immunity damage while ignore targeting is just absolutely phenomenal. You are going to have to work that into your skill. So realistically, this kind of makes the rotation really easy to understand for what you're going to do, right? Next up is her third skill, which is Corrupted Flame, right? You can see here, there's an accumulation on this skill where she's going to basically accumulate pure damage up to 65% of max HP. So this is going to wager a reason for you to utilize a character like Beast as a lead-in, because Beast's new uniform will basically give you a 40% HP increase. So in some ways, this is going to sort of look like how, like, you know, Hulk does in some instances, right? So you could essentially roll Beast in and give Jean and Hulk some bonuses there in terms of, you know, them coming in second and third. So I could put Beast as the lead, then put, you know, Hulk as my second, and then by the time you get to your third character for that, yeah, that's a PvP setup that I might look at doing going forward, but up to you to decide. But the fact is that there's pure damage on this skill of your HP, and you'll notice the recovery rate on this skill as well. And it is crazy that we get this kind of recovery rate with another incapacitation. So the skill looks really, really juicy, right? Now, her 5th skill and her 4th skill, not a whole lot to write home about there. You know, this is a nice increase, all basic attacks and defense. So you get the frenzy buff inside here, and the penetration starts on there. 4th skill, there's definitely not a whole lot to write home about either. But then where we get really saucy is with her 4th skill. They decided to give Jean Grey Reflect on her tier 4 skill. So she has Reflect and an accumulation skill for that effect as well. This is absolutely nuts. So they intended to make Jean bonkers. If you don't believe that, yeah, I don't know what game you've been playing. So let's take a look at some of the skills real quick. So 1 skill, haven't played a Jean in a while. 1 skill doesn't look like a whole lot, but let's take a look at that 2 skill, right? Whoa. How far does that skill work from? She teleported over there? Yeah, that was a huge gap closer on that skill. Roland's her 3rd skill. We can see the iframes on her 3rd skill, so you're going to want to let that skill be your rundown skill. So you can go 2. Can we cancel out of that? So it looks like we're waiting to see the incapacitation and the paralysis come up. Happens as soon as she hits, so yeah, you can cancel on it, but it happens so quick that you don't really need to worry about the cancel. Let's see, so 5, she basically rises up, goes in there. She's got about, ooh, damn, there's a lot of damage on that. Let's see when we can cancel the 5, essentially. So 5. You can cancel the 5 immediately. 5. Yeah, you can cancel the 5 immediately. That's nice. Let's take a look at the 4. Let's see. Okay, go back to the 4. When can we cancel the 4? 4 has an instant cancel as well. So 5, 4 can be canceled instantly. 2 doesn't really look like you need to cancel. So this rotation is pretty easy. It's going to be similar to your normal 5, 4, 3 rotation, where we're just going to go 5 into 4 into 2 and then into 3. But why does it? That's kind of messed up. Well, with everybody here, I don't know why she went away from target. So 5, 4, 2, and then into 3. And that's going to be your rotation right there. Yep. So then you're basically working in on that rotation off there for your 6th skill. So this is her. It's been reworked a little bit, right, for her tier 3 skill. We do know that. The problem I have found with Jean is I've seen some people already playing with her inside of Giant Boss Raid, and she just has so many effects that's going on that it blinds out the floor. We'll let that play out and then roll into 5, 7, 6. Jesus Christ. Man, she is going to be an absolute beast. Like, and the skills just look amazing. So she gets this nice reflect on her, and it's going to be pure damage accumulation. So it's just going to roll in here. You're not going to want to touch this character. Like, it's crazy because basically she's going to be dealing massive amounts of damages between these skills and recovering energy or recovering health just from doing these. And then you're going to try to hit her once that tier. Wow, she just shut down my freaking game. I had a feeling it was going to happen. So Jean shut down my screen. I had a feeling that was going to happen. For some reason, BlueStacks doesn't like all those effects happening at one time. This is a really nice kit for this character. I think her artifact is going to lean towards making her even more powerful. Choosing whether or not you're going to play her for PvE, PvP, or whatever, because I think she's going to have some feasibility there for PvE as well. So I don't think that people will slack off on using her. Now, whether or not she's going to be as powerful, if not more powerful, than some of the other universal well, let's be honest, she's the only universal female tier 4 that we have. So it's hard to argue against that. You're probably going to want to use her inside some PvP, some PvE instance, especially World Boss Legend. That's just the truth of the matter. So she's going to be a powerful character overall. I think I need players to be warned, however, is that you have to understand that this character is going to be pretty damn expensive. I mean, just leveling up the uniform tanked me on all of my Phoenix feathers. Like, you know, a full stock up on Phoenix feathers to get this uniform from, you know, to Mythic. It was tanking there. So any of her costs that she has associated to leveling up. So like, for instance, I can't do it now because I have to wait till I hit that, that progress on there. But like, the character is not going to meet the level requirement. So I can't hit her any higher than this. I don't have any second potential realization tickets. But once you have this, any of the costs associated to this character to level her up is going to be double. It's going to be double. So you have to recognize that there's an investment in this character if you're going to go that route. So be wary of that. Be very wary of that. It's probably gonna change things up a little bit for players. I think it goes back to like those first days when you got in the game and you were choosing whether or not you wanted to level up a native tier 2 versus leveling up, one of your free to play characters. Be wary of the cost because it's going to be significant in terms of leveling Jean Grey to get all the way up to T4. Fortunately, I've heard a lot of players using her at tier 3 and getting very good mileage on her, even against other tier 4s in PvP. So you could probably just get her at tier 3 with this uniform. Max out the uniform, put her in, and see how she does for you. That'll be really good. I'm going to run her inside my timeline battle teams today, so we'll see how that goes. Matter of fact, yeah, I'll do a video about that separately. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is my first impression of Jean Grey. Until next time, peace.